Welcome to the farm.
Welcome to the farm. I'm Justin, and behind me is Dayna's garden. And I've been promising her a nice fancy garden gate for about 2 years now. And since we got the fence all kind of set where we want it, I think it's time we put that gate in. Let's get to it. So right now for a gate, she's just been using this leftover panel from the fencing, and she's getting really frustrated with it. So we're gonna actually get something that hinges and works a lot better. Okay, so I got the fencing pulled away from the T-posts here. We're gonna actually replace these posts with some 4x4s to give support to the gate. And I gotta get these things out. I have just the thing to do it. All right, so I got my two spots roughly laid out where I want my two posts to be. And originally I was gonna clear the stone out, pull back the fabric we have underneath, dig down and actually bury the posts in the ground. But that sounded like more work than I really wanted to do at this point in time. So I picked up these pound-in fence post anchors. I don't think this is gonna hold up as strong, but I'm hoping it's still gonna work and be enough support for the gate. So we'll go ahead, we'll get a block made, and we'll start driving these things in and see how it goes. Well, I got this pounded in. It actually pounded in pretty easy. Unfortunately, my block did not survive, and it's kind of wedged in there right now, so we'll have to see if we can get this thing out. Got it. All right, so now that we got that in, let's go ahead and check how plumb we are. I was plumbing it up when I first started, and I got about halfway down, still pretty plumb. So go ahead, we'll take my digital level here, and we'll put that on the side. So our first side is reading 89.6 degrees. So we're only 4/10 out from pure plumb. I think that's pretty good. I think we're gonna run with that. So other side is 89.9 degrees, so we're only 1/10 of a degree off of 90. All right, so now we got the first side done. We're gonna go ahead and do the next side. Went in my scrap bin again, found myself a little bit longer of a block. Let's get this pounded in. All right, got the next one pounded in. See if the longer piece comes out easier. It does. All right, let's check our plumbness on here and see what we got. So our first side's at 87 degrees, which is kind of a bummer. It's 3 degrees out from plumb. But as I was driving, I think it hit a rock because it was going dead straight, and all of a sudden it just went off and I could not correct it. So that way we're at 89.9, so 1/10 of a degree off. That's really good. I think we're just gonna have to run with what we got because I don't think there's any way I'm changing it. Okay, so I got my 2 vertical posts in, and I was able to wiggle them around a little bit in the stake and get them a lot more plumb. This one's still a little bit off. This is the one where it hit that rock and went really crooked. Still a little bit off, but I think it's gonna be close enough to work. And things are gonna shift and settle and move anyway in the ground and freeze thaw, all that kind of good stuff. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut my board for across the top. That way, when I ask Dayna to come out here and tell me what she wants for height, I have a board that I can hold up and she can visualize what it's gonna look like. Okay, so Dayna came out and we got a height picked. I got some rain coming in here, so I'm gonna try to get these cut real quick, and then we're gonna end up moving into the shop and we'll make everything in the shop, and then I'll have to come out another day to put it together. All right, so we got everything moved into the barn now. I'm hoping that we can get this top board cut out and made and the door completely assembled and made, so that way later this week when we get back out there, all we have to do is put the pieces on and we're done. So let's get going on this top board. So the plan for the top board on the outside of the garden is to make it a little more decorative. So we're gonna cut a radius from this point to center. There we go. Top board of the garden gate is done. I think it turned out pretty well, and I think that's gonna look pretty nice up on top of there. Now we can move on to actually building the door. The last thing we need to do is get our fencing panel on the back of the door and fasten it down. Well, I think this is going to look really cool when it's done. Unfortunately, I forgot to pick up the staples I need to staple the metal to the wood here for the gate and for the posts. So I'm going to have to go run and pick some of those up. It's okay though, because it's raining out. I'm not going to be able to finish this today anyway. So I'm going to call it here for today. I'll pick this up another day and we'll get this finished up and installed. Well, it's a few days later, but I got my fence staples. I just got some 1-inch ones. So we'll go ahead and get this panel stapled down. So we got the panel securely fastened to the gate now. Next thing we need to do is put some hinges on there, and then I think we're ready to go out and hang this. All right, I think our gate's done. There's one thing I'm disappointed in though, and that's this post. When I was putting the anchor in, I hit that rock, which caused the post to kind of lean back a little bit, which I kind of corrected, but it's still a little bit of an issue. The other thing it did is it made the whole post twist. So now with those two issues, my latch doesn't want to quite sit right. I got to kind of push the door back to get it to latch. Not the end of the world. It's an outdoor gate. Things are going to shift. The other thing, which kind of looks a little bit ugly to me, is this board up here is hitting on this side, but I have a gap I can stick my finger in on this side. So it's just not sitting quite right. And if I ever want to change it in the future, I hung the gate on this post, which I know is in really good sturdy shape. All I have to do is pull these 3 screws, pull this out, put it back in, put the 3 screws back in, and I should be good to go. That's if Dayna's unhappy with it, which I think she's just gonna be ecstatic that she finally has a gate after years and years of asking for one. So yeah, I think we're done. Just wanna say thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.